All right, hello, welcome back. You are listening to another brand new episode of Video Ditch with all three hosts, Sam, Nick, Jake, and a very special guest. We got Patrick here with us today. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Yeah, Patrick, real quick, if you want to let the viewers and listeners know who you are and what it is you do.
Sure. Yeah. So my name is Patrick. I am a solo developer. I have a studio called Reky Studios, and I've just been putting out fun, wholesome, cute games for the past few years now.
Yeah, and today specifically, we're going to be talking about his recent release, Cinnabunny, the title that I think is a certified Video Ditch wife classic, is what I was telling Nick right before we came on. This is incredible.
The connection I see.
Great stuff to play with your spouse. But yeah, we'll be going over your gaming history. You know, what kind of led to developing these other rabbit-based games as well. I'm seeing in your catalog. Yeah, and looking at Cinnabunny and perhaps even further towards the horizon. But
that sounds great.
Yeah. Before we begin, how are you guys doing tonight, Nick? If you want to start off, how are you doing?
I've never been better. It's a wonderful summer evening. You know how much I love those balmy summers, and I am just grinning ear to ear with joy and delight.
Play anything cool recently?
Video games? Oh yeah, I've been playing that completely opposite end of the spectrum from Cinnabunny. I've been playing the postal Quake kind of game.
Okay,
Damaged.
Right on.
I've been blowing through that. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of violence, blood, and that kind of thing. Anyone who's a big fan of Cinnabunny, I would not recommend it to you. It is not remotely the same, but I like it. You know, it's actually, maybe you would like it. It's important to have a wide range of things.
Exactly.
You know, even Werner Herzog says that he has to watch reality TV to really understand the spectrum of human interest. So go for it. Maybe it'll give you a new appreciation for Cinnabunny's mechanics and world.
Exactly.
Experiencing the horrors.
What about you, Jake?
Just
anything new?
New? No.
Or what have you been playing?
Kind of got back into Deep Rock. But I've been playing. Ivy and I just finished Final Fantasy VII remake and the interlude or whatever the
Yuffie thing.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Right.
Finished that last night actually. So
yeah,
a little time. But no, not a ton new. I ended up finally finishing Sonic Frontiers as well, and I started the DLC, and holy crap, dude! It is so hard. It's
okay,
dude. I was not expecting. I was like,
"Is that what you want?"
I've never seen a Sonic game be this hard before. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to play it. It's crazy hard.
You have to play it.
I'm going to
because it's a Sonic game. You don't have a choice.
I was ready to be done with it. I was going to start Metaphor, but yeah, that I was just like, dude. Now I kind of want to, but it's like frustratingly hard. Like,
you're the Sonic liaison. You have to play it. I played the 2D
exactly.
I played the 3D ones.
But yeah, that's about it. And Ivy, when I showed her Cinnabunny, she's like, we're gonna be playing
right now.
Yeah. Co-op. Yeah, I have it, so we're definitely gonna be playing it co-op soon.
Very good.
Yeah,
good. Yeah, I'm currently working through Death Stranding because Death Stranding 2 just came out.
Oh yeah.
I want to start that second game, but I need to finish that first one.
Well, I'm sure in 3 months you'll have everything you need to understand Death Stranding 2.
Yeah. I'll check back in then. And yeah, what about you, Patrick? Any recent releases, or have you had any time?
Yeah. I actually am just started the third act of Expedition 33, Clair Obscur, and it's been fantastic. Yeah,
that's
absolute cinema.
Too. I just
picked that back up.
Yeah, it is a phenomenal game for sure.
Yeah, we were deciding on, since we just finished remake, we weren't going to go on to Rebirth. We want to break because
let it cool off for a
lot. Yeah. But so it's between Metaphor, Expedition 33. And Final Fantasy 16, we're like, because we're kind of playing a lot of those together.
So many RPGs.
I know. It's heavy. It's heavy.
You know what? Jake, you're the big Final Fantasy 10 head. You should go for Clair Obscur. It has very strong FF10.
I'm leaning towards Clair Obscur, honestly. Yeah. Like it just looks like such a phenomenal game.
Oh yeah, very strong French influence too.
Yeah.
It's generated so much buzz this year. It's very exciting. And how do you feel, Patrick, as like an independent developer, kind of seeing the success of something like
I
that
mean,
studios?
it seems like whenever Ubisoft developers kind of like just jump ship and make their own thing, like it always kind of turns out well. They have the experience, obviously, and then when they actually add passion to it, it seems like things kind of turn out well. But yeah, I'm also a little bit French heritage. I've been learning French, so I actually am listening to the game in French, and that's been an extra layer
that's
of
so
cool.
Yeah,
that's super
hearing all the voice
cool.
actors and actresses, and yeah, it's been great. It's been wonderful.
Better man than me. I should do that. Fuck, man. I'm dishonoring my ancestors.
It's like playing.
Are you
Yakuza
also
in
French?
the Japanese.
Yeah. My last name's very French.
What is your last name?
Well, someone's gonna have to.
Yeah, editor,
please.
bleep
Oh, you
this
don't
out,
have to.
right?
No, it
stop
doesn't matter.
it.
It doesn't matter.
Please.
It's very French.
Classically French, if you will.
You just put in Donkey Kong grunting or something.
Wario sound.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, Wario getting in a car crash and dying.
They're gonna find you. It's
It's fine. I put it on every email. And
I know.
matter.
It's like on your badge.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. I suppose with that, Patrick, we like to ask all our guests when they come on the show kind of where their history and their relationship with video games began, and kind of what are the highlights there for you?
Yeah. Where did it all start? Was it Mario or something a little more insidious?
It started in Super Mario Bros. 3. My parents had an NES.
Man, that's such a common heavy hitter. Yeah.
And it was a really, really big deal getting both a Nintendo 64 eventually, like years after it kind of released, and then also a GameCube. So I was a total Nintendo guy growing up.
Right on.
All the major hits, Super Mario 64, Luigi's Mansion was a great one for GameCube. But I also played kind of more deep cuts. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the game NHL Hits on the GameCube.
I know.
Is that a hockey game?
It's a hockey game, but there's no refs, and you kind of can just like check people all over.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Like the slugfest.
Exactly.
Outlaw
Like you can
hockey.
stop the game and just like box people.
That's great.
It was fantastic.
I've always thought that would make sports games so much better if they just dropped any of the realism, just like you just beat the shit out of people.
Absolutely. Yes, it was very fun.
NHL Hits Pro with a Z at the end.
Yes, with the Z, obviously.
Okay.
It's like around the 2000s.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
obligatory Z.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, and then I built my first gaming PC about 5 years ago, so I was really late to the PC gaming squad. But my first PC game was PUBG, and that's actually what convinced me to buy.
Dude.
And I got really into that for a while.
It was so fun when it first came out. It was just the most I still think some of the most laughs I've ever had in a game playing some buds in PUBG, dude. Like that shit was so fun.
It was amazing. And then when in the early days when the servers were so bad, everyone would kind of like stay on the plane, and there'd be like 20 people AFK at the end, and you would just kind of you would just go hunting, and it was great.
Very good.
How funny.
Right on. You mentioned Nintendo and kind of looking at what I assume would be the heritage of Cinnabunny, Animal Crossing. Was that a title you played early on, or was that something you kind of visited later in your gaming career?
Yeah, I had the original Animal Crossing. I got it pretty soon after it came out. I had a friend who had played it and was like, "You got to play this game. It's really cool. You like pay off debt and like you buy a house." I'm like, this sounds so dumb, but it was so charming, and it was an incredibly soothing game to play. So yeah, I did play the original Animal Crossing. I played New Horizons when it came out on the Switch during COVID when everyone was playing it, and it was amazing time. But actually, it may not seem this way, but Cinnabunny's biggest influence is actually Stardew Valley.
Okay.
Right on.
And I tried to adapt every game mechanic and gameplay loop from a farming simulator and then apply it to like a baking simulator. So I tried to kind of reimagine it in terms of same core loop but different dynamic or different mechanics.
Yeah. Right on.
That's what my girl said when she so she's like, this looks like Bunnies.
Stardew Valley DNA.
Yeah, because she plays a ton of Stardew with her best friend. They still play it all the time.
It is a great game. So yeah, heavily influenced for sure.
Good. Another question from me. Was co-op gaming like a big part of gaming for you growing up, or is that just a feature that you wanted to include because you think it's valuable.
Yeah, I do think it's valuable. It is a little bit of a lost art form these
I agree.
days, having
Yeah.
co-op.
Mm-hmm.
I
Especially
don't think I
couch
do it
co-op.
perfectly. There's definitely some things I would change about both Bunhouse, my previous game, and Cinnabunny if I were to redo the architecture differently. But I do think co-op gaming is amazing. I did play a lot of co-op as a kid. Uh, Plenty of games. There was a game called Destruction Derby, like where your friends would just kind of drive around and
Oh
just crash
yeah.
cars into each other.
Right on.
So
Yeah.
yeah, lots of different sort of things like that, where it was just like silly, funny gameplay, and I think the multiplayer definitely illuminates that kind of silliness and makes things a little bit more enjoyable with another person.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Especially in a cozy game like that. Like
Absolutely.
it's that's the draw. When I saw it was co-op, I was like, oh, we're for sure playing this. I
Yeah,
know
same.
she's gonna,
Same,
yeah,
same,
because
same.
that drew me in big time.
I know. Me and my wife, we still manage to somehow get tense and worried about things. We're trying to do so much at once. Just like, oh, what are you doing? The bread's gonna burn. We have to be.
Across town.
Of course, it's totally fine. But the first time we put like a baguette in there, and we were like 30 minutes late, and she's like, "Fuck, it's ruined. It's over."
The timer's
No.
very forgiving on it.
Yeah, some things just never change. You know,
Yeah,
some gamer instincts just never die down.
for sure.
Oh yeah. Very good. Well, either of you, Nick, Jake, any questions for Patrick about his gaming past?
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, I noticed that your first ever game was actually an RPG Maker title, right?
The first one I created, yeah, I guess I
Yeah.
did some small projects. I like made asteroids in HTML. But yeah, like my first release project was in RPG Maker. That's
Yeah,
correct.
first Steam release. So how
Yep.
exactly did it go from this like anti-hero story to Rabbit Baking Simulator?
I originally created my first title is called You're Not Special, and the premise is that there's like evil in the world and like the world's gonna die and only the chosen one can stop it. But you're not the chosen one. You're just like some guy that like follows the chosen one around.
Right.
And so like you play a really ancillary role in the story. But anyway, yes. I just wanted to make that game. I thought it was like an interesting idea, and so it was just a fun hobby thing. It was really not meant to be like a huge commercial thing. I just thought I'd put it on Steam for fun. And then I was like, hey, game development's pretty cool. I would love to do more with this, but RPG Maker is just too limiting of an engine. Like I would be stuck to this type of game. So I want something that's, has a little more freedom. So I started teaching myself Unreal Engine, which I've been on for all my titles. And yeah, once I kind of picked that up, did a lot of tutorials, made some, demos and some other things. Then I was in the midst of COVID, I was like, I want to make a really cool game for my wife. She loves bunnies and she loves plants. And so in like 3 months, I had this like very workable prototype called Bunhouse, where you were a bunny and you took care of plants. And it was so stinking cute that I was like, well, I got to share this with other people. I tried to kickstart it, and then everyone else agreed, like, yeah, this is awesome. The Kickstarter was thankfully very successful, and that kind of launched my gaming career, my dev career.
Right on.
Fantastic. Yeah, love conquers all.
Exactly.
There's no obstacle.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that your progression too, starting from RPG Maker, very very commendable. As a big RPG Maker fan.
Yeah, I love
Of course.
RPG. Yeah, there's a lot of great RPG Maker games too.
Ooh, real quick, what's your favorite RPG Maker game?
Oh, To the Moon for sure.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
A classic.
It's a
We
really
were
good
playing
one.
it so long ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, of course, very very story based game as well. I know.
Yeah, it is heavily narrative. It's
Mhm.
like right along the edge of not a game almost, because you are
Yeah.
just like playing passively through a story. But the
Basically a
writing is
visual
so
novel.
good. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it is a visual novel. That's right.
Oh,
For sure.
Jake, any questions from you before we move on to
Were you-
Cinnabunny?
Yeah, were you into like programming at all before you got into making games, or was it?
So I fell in love with my now wife back when we were in college, and her dad was like, I want to make an app. And so like I taught myself how to program to impress him, because father-in-law.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And
awesome,
so
man.
yeah, that did not go anywhere. But yes, that's kind of how I taught myself programming. Originally, it was like a web development background to please my future father-in-law.
Right.
And then
He's
just
the
kind of games
ideas
were
guy.
fun. Yeah,
funny.
exactly. Yes.
What was the idea, by the way? Was it something really crazy?
I
Something to
know.
make a lot of money?
It
like
wasn't
the
crazy.
drinking
It was
app, you know?
something. It was something really simple. It was basically just like a way of planning dates for your significant other. It was called Date Night Online. It was just kind of like a way to like pull news articles and stuff of like what's happening in your local area. Is there like ideas that you can do? So it was like
that does
just kind of
sound
a
useful,
simple.
actually.
Yeah, it was.
Actually, it
I
sounds
think if
very
it had been released like maybe 5 years earlier, I think it actually could have done pretty well. But it was just kind of on the tail end of all that stuff.
Sure,
So just there were other
Wow.
things, and now we got Chat GPT that'll do everything for you. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Where should I, Grok, where should I take my wife? Do not take her to South Africa. She will be genocided.
That's
Anyways.
interesting pathways to be taken, though. Yes.
Yeah.
very
yeah,
good.
it's
That's
been a
awesome.
journey.
Actually.
Mhm.
Cool story.
Right on. Well, yeah, I guess that brings us to Cinnabunny, unless you guys have any other pressing questions about the past.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, no, we've seen the genesis. It's all
My
love and
life is
hearts,
clear,
yeah.
laid bare before you.
You see it all, yeah. It's all life began when you met your now wife, and same for me. Everything before that didn't happen. Don't worry about it. Don't look into it.
Giant question mark.
Exactly.
Very good. Well, yeah, I suppose we've spoken about its influences. Are there any other influences that you might feel would be unexpected for you as a dev that went into Cinnabunny?
I don't think so. It really was like I wanted to make an homage to Stardew Valley without copying Stardew Valley. Like I wanted to make something like a unique spin on that simulator genre. And I think I did. I have some pretty novel mechanics and concepts in it that I haven't seen in any other simulator games like that. But yeah, it is like very much like I tried to follow the formula, but just change the formula a little bit.
Very good. Were any of your decisions motivated by like a particular frustration or grievance with how systems work in games like Stardew, or just the genre in general?
Yes, actually. Inventory management. There is no inventory management in Cinnabunny. I find myself in a lot of those simulator games, I'm like managing chests and I'm like a little bit OCD about it. So like I have a chest for everything, and it's just like constantly switching things from my inventory.
Color-coded chests.
Yeah, you just like always have access to everything. It's already organized by category. So there's just no need for that.
That's so awesome. Yeah, you should see my RuneScape big tab. So bad. I'm so OCD about it. God.
Jake loves RuneScape.
Jake does love RuneScape.
Old
Yeah.
Old school.
Yeah. I'm glad personally. I also not a big, if it's not like Resident Evil, I don't see much of a need to have to go back to your house and drop off a bunch of items.
Have that tension.
Yeah. It's the kind of a holdover from older games, maybe. So I do appreciate letting me hold as many limes as I want.
Yep.
Or other games.
You can even have more than 1,000 and it will keep track of them, but it only say you have 999. So if you ever have too many limes, don't worry, you're not losing any.
So those out there, you can hold all those limes.
You can hold every lime.
Hold all the limes.
Very good.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess my main question after playing it was, how exactly do you just use your own? Do you have rabbits? Is that like the model for the way they move around, or did you just kind of intuit how a rabbit would move around, both in the world map and baking and doing everything in the game?
I used to have a rabbit. We don't have it anymore. We had to get rid of it because we were moving around too much. It just kind of wasn't fair to the animal. But we would love to have rabbits, but we're constantly like we have family in Michigan and Georgia and North Carolina, and we live in South Carolina. So it's just not fair to have an animal. So we don't have any rabbits, but we would love to, which is why I've created virtual rabbits essentially for us. So as far as the movement goes, I look at a lot of sources and just try to make like a cartoon version of those like realistic movements, I would say.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't really have much more to say than that. It's just kind of like, this looks like
that's
a rabbit.
It looks very
This feels right.
Yeah, it feels rabbit.
Feels right. Yeah.
What were sorry, go ahead, Sam.
No, I was
gonna ask, like, when making the game, what was the hardest part? Like, where were the hardest struggles of it?
For sure, without a doubt, it would be how the NPCs travel and like navigate their tasks throughout the environment, because it always bothered me in games, like if you would enter a house and then like come out and like the NPC that was right by your house is just gone, like they just like, oh, the task is now, so it does keep track of everything even when you're not in the same area as the NPC, which I know isn't like novel or anything, but for me to figure that out, it took a lot of like special programming Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Makes the world feel alive. It's worth
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's like they
yeah.
have their own
There's a reason-
schedules. They have travel time.
I
like
love
they're-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason. I just watched some video on that. and
Oblivion.
no, it wasn't about Oblivion. I can't remember what it was. Just a more generalized RPG video, but it was about how so many RPGs forego like schedules for their NPCs and walking like they'll just stand there.
Yeah, a static world versus
Right.
something more dynamic.
It is
Right.
really complicated. So I understand if you have like a lot of NPCs and it is, yeah, it could be tough to do for sure. But yeah, I think it's worth it, especially when you have like a tight knit community feel you need in a game like Cinnabunny or Animal Crossing or Stardew. You kind of you
Mhm.
need that stuff to make the world feel not dull.
For sure,
Mhm.
for sure. Yeah, one of the few RPGs I've ever seen do it. Oh, Xenoblade in the background.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Yeah.
what the video was on.
Full 24-hour schedule.
Yeah,
Love that.
full 24-hour.
All right, so those of you out there, RPG heads, Cinnabunny is directly taking inspiration from both Xenoblade and Majora's Mask. So
There
if you
you
like
go.
either of those games,
Oh yeah, Majora's Mask. That's
Oh,
another
great.
one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The 72-hour schedule, even more complex.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so dearly.
It is a great game.
It is.
It's like definitely top 3 Zeldas for me.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
for sure.
What was the process like of developing the personalities of all the bunnies in town? Was that
Yeah.
difficult at all, or did you just kind of have tropes in mind? And
Yeah, I
Like-
I actually had an Excel spreadsheet, or I guess Google sheet, and I wrote down I want 24 NPCs. My wife named them all because she is really passionate about naming things, and I'm not.
Hell yeah.
And then I gave every single NPC 2 or 3 positive character traits and 1 negative character trait, and I just thought that would be enough to make them like if I have this core identity of like how they behave, then it'd be easy to write dialogue for any situation. So yeah, that's what I did. I was just like, oh, it'd be cool if this person, was like really, really like designery, but also like super arrogant. And it's just,
yeah. Okay. Right on. I was playing the game earlier today. I started playing it today. I guess just from like a breadth of content standpoint, like how much is awaiting me in this game? I've gotten to the town, I'm seeing that I can unlock like the mines and the forest, and I'm just wondering what the general progression like is looking like or is going to look like.
So there's only, as far as like areas in the game, there's only the town, the forest, and the caves are like kind of the big areas, and then obviously all the NPC houses.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so there's nothing else that's, I guess, that big, but there's a lot to unlock. There's a lot of recipes, a lot of supplemental ingredients.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of like furniture, and there's even more now in the most recent update I did. So yeah, there's definitely like a lot of stuff there for
Okay,
sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's definitely not nearly as dense in its content as like Stardew Valley, but he's been
Sure.
developing it for like 10 years.
Sure. Yeah.
Don't give me a break, guys.
Yeah.
Of course, dude.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, I saw you it's just been 2 updates, correct?
Yes, there's been 2 major updates so far.
So do you have plans for more?
I have some small things planned. I don't have my sort of big hooks yet, but I kind of always just think of them on the fly. I read all my community feedback, and I'm like, oh, that's a really good idea, or I'll just kind of like think of it one night. So yeah, I haven't found my 1.3 update hook yet, but I'm sure I will sometime.
Gotcha. Right on.
Community members, if you have an amazing idea, directly message Patrick or tell me, and I'll tell him if I think it's good enough.
I like having that filter. That's nice.
Yeah. That way you don't have to be like, oh, that's really stupid.
That's a really great
I'll
idea.
do it
Thank
for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had some phenomenal ideas that I've already implemented a lot of, and then there's like ones that are like, you should make it so you can like shoot other rabbits.
I knew
I'm
someone was going to be like, add a gun.
like, okay, are you just trolling, or like is this a serious suggestion? Because
I mean, heck, the Sonic developers said the #1 requested feature for the next Sonic game was just give Sonic a gun, and that's what they make Shadow.
And it'd be Shadow the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah, you can make the Shadow Rabbit.
2026. Yeah.
Where's that damn 5th piece of wheat?
Yeah.
I don't know. We laugh, but they gave Pokemon guns, and then now
Yeah.
It worked.
sold like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Is that, would you say that's like the craziest request is give the rabbits guns? Or is there anything else that's like, you were like, this is why did you even think of this? Like, this is a little crazy.
Honestly, most of the suggestions have been pretty grounded. The guns was
Good.
probably the most ridiculous. And then anytime I say I have like a bunny baking game, people are like, "Oh, do you get to bake the bunnies?" And like that's a very common comment.
Oh my
Which
god.
I know I
Wow.
could say it like a bunny-filled baking game. It's just like a little bit more, you know,
Right. Meat
Mhm.
pies.
cumbersome. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, most of the community feedback has been very grounded and very good.
Okay. So you guys can leave your mark with your crazy ideas.
Exactly. Yeah.
Psychos and freaks, get on that
The
Steep
big
community
ideas,
page.
people.
Yeah.
Yes, in the video ditch community.
Oh, yeah. We've got a lot of
Eccentric.
Minds.
Let's just say eccentric.
Great
Yeah.
minds.
we've got a lot of minds.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, so when I was playing earlier, I noticed one morning all the bunnies were kind of like stretching together.
Yeah.
Um, I guess what's the thought process behind like adding stuff like this? Like, how far along in the process of making the game do you find the time to like add in these details, or are those details like there from the start? It's like, no, this is
The
essential.
the idea of them are there for the start for sure.
Okay.
Because I think it is essential. If you want to have a community, it needs to
I
feel like a
agree.
community. It needs to feel lived
Mhm.
in and like they do things together. So yeah, when rabbits are kind of stopped at intersections, they'll like face each other. They're like having their own conversations, which the player doesn't hear or anything, but it just feels more lived in. And yes, they were added late in the development cycle, but I knew for sure I was going to put them
To
in.
have those sort of
Yeah.
details. Very good. Yeah.
Make sure you head to the same place on Friday nights because you'll also find a fun community.
Oh, okay. Okay, right on. Yeah. I was exploring the bar, getting my bunny drunk. It's like, this
Oh yeah.
this is great.
Yes.
Oh, very good. Nick, any questions, any more questions regarding Cinnabunny specifically?
Yeah, I just had an idea actually. Could you add like some creepypasta, stupid game theory type scary stuff to the game? Like you go
No, I've
go to the mines at 6:66 p.m. and
Yeah,
there's gonna
exactly.
be an evil red rabbits.
Mhm.
I've actually had a lot of people say like whenever they watch my trailers, they're like waiting for something horror to
Oh,
happen.
the
It's like
nighttime
it's
is
too
dark
cute. It's
in
too
these
peaceful.
games.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
when they like feel unsettled, like something's gonna happen.
In the mines, I got that vibe for sure when I was watching the trailer.
Yeah, it's peaceful. It's nice. It's a little bit lonely, but yeah, I just wanted to. Yeah, the game has no combat. That's another thing I wanted to kind of distinguish from other
Mhm.
farming sims like this.
Mhm.
Just like really, yeah, there's nothing to fight. Just go explore, forage.
Fun.
Yeah, no. These sorts of like passive experiences
Yeah.
certainly have their place. And yeah. Well, very good. What do you hope for players to walk away from, after playing this game?
I think in our super crazy busy world, people just need a little bit more peace. And so that's really what I desire for people. I want them to come away from the game feeling more peace.
Good.
I love
Oh,
that.
Yeah, for
I love
sure.
that.
I suppose with the baking element, of the game's mechanics, do you have any background of that in your personal life? Or
I mean,
is
in
it just
COVID,
a
we all
fun-
baked, right? Like that was
Truly,
the thing
yeah.
that we
We
as
all
a
made
society
bread.
decided
Very
we had
true.
to do this. Yeah, I'm not a great baker, but I bake occasionally, and yeah, I really do
Mhm.
like it. I think it's fascinating. It was fun to learn a lot more about baking and try to
Okay.
distill that down into something that could be like satisfying enough where it feels involved but not tedious whenever you have to do it.
Mhm. Yeah, what's the process of balancing like those mechanics, I suppose, with like the bake times and then the complexity of like the patterns for kneading the dough, like
Yeah. I thought that a bunny like rolling dough was the cutest thing I could think of, like to just instantly sell the game. Like you get instantly what the game is about. There's a rabbit, they're making bread. And so I was like, okay, well, I just have to put that in. It's really adorable. So I knew that was going to be part of the process. And it is like a really quick part of the process. You do the Helldivers classic, like little arrow configurations, then you have your shaped
Keystrokes.
dough. Exactly. But outside of that, yeah, I had some prototyped some more complex and some less complex versions of the baking, and it felt right to just have you select each individual ingredient as opposed to like do like a mini game to mix it every time. That felt tedious in the end. So I did have to balance some things. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, right on. Thank you. All right, you two. Any more questions about Cinnabunny mechanics?
Yes.
Anything narrative?
Go ahead, Nick.
I wanted to ask the idea of having the kind of trial and error process of figuring out people's favorites. Did you ever think like, oh, this might be a little bit too hard. Maybe I should like make it very obvious and like check off things or automatically complete favorites or something? Or did you kind of trust like, oh, people will want to keep track of this on their own and it'll be more rewarding to actually actively know what their likes and dislikes are? What was your process there?
I trusted my vision for the game and knew that some people would have problems with it because I did want. So again, the whole idea of the game is like a community, and like you are thrust into this community, and therefore you have to be a part of it, which means learning the NPCs. And I wanted the player to like feel like they are getting to know these characters, like it becomes important to them. Like, oh yeah, they're like even now I haven't played Stardew Valley in a year and a half, and I know that Leah likes salads because she would get gifted salads and it would help her relationship go up. So like when you kind of have that sort of connection to the NPCs, it really does help you, I think, grow in that sense of community. And I know some people would be frustrated by it, and that has been feedback from a couple people. It's not like a lot. But yeah, I think that is part of this particular game's gameplay, is like figuring that out, getting to learn the NPCs, what they like, what they dislike, and then, trial and error it, as you said.
Yeah, I think that's a good approach. I think it would be really distracting, really immersion breaking to have a giant quest marker and a little note that says, remember, they only like this.
Yeah. And some people have asked for that, but it just felt like out of the realm of what I'm trying to do for this.
Never give in to them. They don't know what they want.
Yeah.
Their brains are poisoned.
You can always look up guides online, like if you really wanted to know.
The Cinnabunny wiki.
Sure. Yeah.
Watch the Cinnabunny long play.
Okay, games hold your hand too much.
30-hour long play.
I like that. For the music, where'd the inspiration come with the music?
I just kind of like sat down at a piano and I was just like, what's the happiest thing I can think of? Yeah, I did it all myself.
Nice.
I was like, yeah, I really like xylophone for my rabbit games for some reason. And like the marimba, I don't know why, but they just feel like they feel happy and like chill to me. So I just use them a lot.
Right. Really bright sound. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like very staccato-y. It's just like, I imagine like bunnies just kind of hopping around.
Totally.
So yeah, I just like hopped on a marimba and just went to town.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right on, man.
That's cool.
Oh, very good. And you launched in February of this year with Cinnabunny?
That's right.
Yeah, right on. You guys are sitting currently at a like very positive on Steam, so congratulations.
My dream is to get to that 500 review mark and get to overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah. There you go.
That's like a huge dream of mine. So I think it's possible in a couple of years I could get there, and that would be an amazing if I keep the same trajectory. 96% I'm very, very happy with for sure.
Well, we're wishing you the best.
Thank you.
Viewers, listeners, you can pick up the game right now. I don't know if it'll still be on sale when this episode goes out.
You're right. But it should be right at the tail end of the Steam sale. So the day you listen to this, pick it up for 20% off. And if it's full price, buy it anyways. You've got the money. You've got the scratch.
Exactly. Support Patrick.
It's worth it.
Yeah. What are you going to spend it on anyways? A hamburger? Please.
Yeah. Well,
do something meaningful.
I suppose we kind of talked about your plans for post-launch updates. Haven't quite found the hook for your next major update yet. Have you considered any projects beyond Cinnabunny yet, or?
Yeah, I have one that I'm really excited to get to, but I'm still updating Cinnabunny for the time being. I don't know. Do you guys want an exclusive? Should I share my?
Absolutely,
it's up to you.
All right,
yes.
You're not allowed to steal this idea. My basic pitch. I'm going away from rabbits. I kind of told everyone Cinnabunny's going to be my last rabbit game because I want to explore some other things. But my new pitch is you are an otter and you are in the sea and there are fish that you have to go find and they're injured. You bring them back to your base and heal them. Think of like the coziest version of Subnautica where you're exploring places and then building bases and helping fish.
So it's not going to have some like
it will not have
Echo
monsters,
the Dolphin style Lovecraftian horror coming.
Yeah.
Well, you could save them. Maybe like a coelacanth? What is it? The like dinosaur.
Coelacanth. I know what you're talking about. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Regirock, whatever.
Yeah.
The Pokemon. I don't know.
So yeah, that's my
otters. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, that's my next. That'll be
cool.
We're probably a year or two out from that, but that's my next idea.
Nice. Yeah, like a field meta kind of game. That sounds cool. Yeah, with just throwing some Zora fishing elements or something. Or not fishing, swimming elements,
Oh yeah, I should go back to that. They had some really satisfying and jumping out of the water too. Was always very satisfying.
Only on 64.
Yeah.
They ruined it in the 3DS.
Oh, did they?
Oh yeah, they totally changed
I never played
Zora swimming.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, It was definitely different. And also the biggest thing they changed in the N6 or the 3DS one that bugged me is the
Super bright.
everything was so bright.
Oh,
The art direction.
Yeah.
I'm
changed,
glad that
kind of,
my
yeah.
my memory isn't ruined then.
Yeah, they want
There you
kids to be
go.
afraid of the horror game, I guess.
Yeah. But mallet percussion is going to be great for an aquatic theme as well. So very
Yeah,
cool.
I've actually sat down a lot trying to make music for this next game just to see, and I haven't found anything that grips me yet. Like there's the obvious like slow synth kind of like
Yeah,
wavy, like
kind
that
of
every
water
underwater.
level
Yeah,
music,
exactly.
yeah.
But that seems boring. I want to do something cool. But
Yeah,
some
leave your mark
castanets.
on it.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah,
so we'll
Like
see.
clams. Yeah, clams.
yeah, exactly.
There you go.
I know it's
bossa nova.
I know it's somebody it's on Steam. I know there was mention of you porting it. Was that still a plan?
Yeah, I can't give any official news on that, but let's just say I'm trying really hard to get it onto Nintendo Switch, and it
For sure.
is a good
It's
chance
very
that it will
fitting
get
then.
there within, you know,
Yeah. It would fit right in on that catalog.
yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, no, that would be such a good platform for it as well, I think, for sure. Is it hard to do that?
And do you get a Switch too if you
so
get on?
I'm Bunhouse, my last game is on Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch. I went through a publisher with them, and honestly, it was like one of the worst experiences. The publisher was really terrible, and they were like a bunch of very, very nice, good people that were really bad at running a business. So like they weren't trying to screw me over or anything, but it was handled very poorly. So I'm doing it like myself, working with another person, and I think it's going to go a lot better this time around.
Nice. Right on.
Yeah.
And who is
Very
that
cool.
publisher so we can shame them publicly?
Yeah. You just gotta look
Actually,
it
yeah,
up.
it's not slander because this is, but their name is Digerati. They're again very nice people. They've had some problems. Their CEO tragically died when they were working on my title, which was this whole terrible thing. But outside of that, yeah, it was a poorly handled port and a poorly handled business in general. But I wish them the best. Again,
Yeah,
great
exactly.
people.
Of course. Yeah.
Make sure you play the Steam version, guys.
Yeah, but actually though, yeah,
ports are
Bunhouse
haunted.
Steam version is like 5 versions above the other consoles, and the consoles I don't have access to the code, so I can't update those.
I see.
So,
Steam port is 2 situations.
so Steam, yeah, you got to go
Yeah.
Steam if you're going Bunhouse. It's the best version of the game for sure.
It's always interesting to hear different developers' kind of experiences with publishers. I wish the narrative of them getting, not like maliciously screwed over, like that didn't happen to you, but mismanaged is kind of a common thread I hear with the relationship with publishers, which is a bummer, but I suppose I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, right on. Looking further towards the future, I know we kind of touched upon this at the start of the show, but are there any upcoming releases that you're looking to get your hands on and spend your time playing?
Oh, like not mine.
Yeah, not
or other
yours.
developers.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything that I'm super. I mean,
That's
Silk
not
Song
really
is
up.
coming someday, right?
Yeah, that got announced.
Allegedly, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it did get announced. Is there a release date?
It got
Let's
announced
look
with the
that up
Switch
right
2.
Yeah, they had that.
Oh, wasn't that like a teaser thing? They didn't give a date.
They
or
just
anything.
showed
No,
They just
said,
said it be out for
It finally
yeah.
was like, hey, we are gonna release this. Like, it's not just a myth, but
Allegedly this year, which is already halfway over.
Yeah, the holiday period this year
Right.
is the rumor. So they have
Yeah,
until
well-
December 31st this year to prove us wrong.
We will
Mhm.
see. I am looking forward to Light No Fire. I don't know when that's going to come out, but it's the No Man's Sky developers.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's
Um,
right.
And then there's also the Journey Abzu developers are working on something.
That kind of like sword surfing.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
really
yeah,
excited for that
I
one
don't know if
too.
it's rad.
But yeah, other than that,
Very
if you
cool.
want a shout out to a fellow indie dev,
love
yes,
it.
by all means.
there's a game called Sheep Herds. And yeah, look it up. It's really cute. You're a sheepdog, and you just like corral sheep into certain areas.
Okay.
And
My wife would
it's like
like that a
a
lot.
party game, like Overcooked. And there's a demo out, and the demo's amazing. So I am looking forward to that game as well.
Yeah,
Big shout out. Okay. Right on.
Yeah, that's a good shout
I
out.
have no connection with them. I just saw them on Reddit, so I'm not a shill. I just
For
think
sure.
they're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get the big pile of money shoved in the back.
Yeah.
The check. Yeah. Oh, very good.
Definitely
Nick,
check
Jake,
that one out.
either of you guys have any more questions for Patrick before we begin our community Q&A.
I think we've pretty much. I've answered all my little RPG Maker inquiries. That's the main thing, you know.
Of course.
That's
Love
the
your
main thing on
RPG
my
Maker.
mind. Oh yeah.
What's your favorite RPG Maker game?
Lisa the Painful.
Okay, I haven't played
Yeah.
that, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's fantastic. I like it a lot.
All right, I'll have to check it out.
Right. Well then, yeah.
Oh, real quick, wait.
Oh yes, please.
How much during the development? How much did your wife take part?
I tried to not have her take part as much as I could so that she would be a reliable tester when I would throw something in front of her to make sure because she's not a gamer, so it's helpful to have someone that's, not a gamer and then tries it and make sure that it's still like accessible and that she knows what to do. But yeah, once it was like up and running and she kind of had played it a lot, then yeah, we would sit down and we would just do lots of runs of co-op testing together, which was fun.
That's awesome. Very cool.
That reminds me, my wife had a question for you. She wanted to know your favorite kind of rabbit, Patrick.
My favorite kind of rabbit.
Yeah.
I mean, Lapia rabbits are just so adorable, but we had a Netherland dwarf rabbit and she was adorable. Loved her. You can look them up. They're just so cute. They got little tiny ears.
Blow it up on the screen right now. Yeah.
Quick, if you please.
Yeah.
So yeah, Netherland dwarf was maybe my favorite.
Beautiful. And
Oh
with
yeah,
that,
look at that. Those tiny little ears.
Yeah, they're really cute.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I remember I
Yeah.
tried to give my rep the tiny ears, and she was like, "You can't have that. I don't want to look at that. Give them normal ears." It's like it's my rabbit.
Do you go lop or do you go upright?
I went with upright.
Okay.
Standard like
I went
classic.
upright, but
I
then
went
I'm wearing
upright
a
with
hat.
the
When I wear
bugged
the
out
hat,
psycho
they're
eyes.
dead.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Fair enough.
Right on. But yeah, that brings us to our community Q&A.
Yes, quite a few.
Yeah, thanks community members as always for sending them in. From
These are real
Patrick.
contributions.
Mhm. First coming in from producer Hugh, former
Mhm.
producer Hugh.
All the way from Australia.
Oh,
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
under.
Yeah, he asks, "Did you know there's a rabbit on the moon?"
I don't know if this is a real question or not, but randomly my mind goes here. There's actually a board game that I kickstarted recently. Not me, but like I paid for the Kickstarter. That's about rabbits on the moon that are like making the herb of life or something.
Yeah.
So apparently they're a rabbit. This is like a common theme that
Yeah,
I've
it's,
seen. The rabbits.
A mythical figure in both
Yeah.
East Asian and
Japanese mythology.
Yeah,
Wow, there you go.
indigenous folklore. Yeah.
So yeah, now I know.
Yeah, I suppose
Does it have a special name?
the moon rabbit, moon hare,
Okay.
or jade rabbit,
Oh,
according to
okay.
Wikipedia here. Real well produced right now.
Okay. I mean, Wikipedia slaps these days, let's be honest.
Yeah, interesting. Well, thank you for that, Hugh. We didn't know, but now we do. Coming in from Buns.
Yes. Believe it or not, a big fan of your game. Someone with the name.
Yes, who would have thought? Their first question, they ask, what inspired the orb activating the chest in the mining cave?
Gosh, this could take some explanation. I'll try to distill it.
Okay.
When I was learning how to program in Unreal Engine, I was like, my first thing was to make my dream game. And that was a terrible idea because it was really complex and way too much for one person. But it had like a Navi like guide in it, and it was like this little glowing orb. So it's kind of like a small little nod to my first original thing
Yeah,
in
like a
the
little
engine.
holdover.
Yeah,
Foray into
exactly.
games,
Yeah.
right on.
And if you get really close to it, you'll hear it has like wind chimes, and that was in the original, my original sort of game as well.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a holdover from that. Fun
Deep
little
cut
nod.
Easter egg.
Yes, super
Very
deep.
cool. Yeah.
Good question, Buns. All right.
Very nice, Buns.
We'll let you stick around.
Mm-hmm. And we answered this question earlier about when you're developing, do you develop co-op first in mind or something to be added later?
Yep, always co-op first, or it's too hard to add later. Usually. Yep.
No question. And their final question is, what's the biggest light bulb moment you've had integrating rabbits into non-rabbit activities?
The biggest light bulb, I'm not sure. I think when I decided to give rabbits an animation where they're up on their hind legs, like acting like humans, but not being anthropomorphic. What's the word?
Anthropomorphic.
Yeah.
Anthropomorphic, yeah. Not being anthropomorphic, but still up on their hind legs. It like gave it this very, very silly quality. And so that was kind of
It
light
is.
bulb
It's
for me,
very
where it's
silly.
like, this is really funny to look at.
Mhm.
So anytime
Picking
you're
up
like
a
carrying
chair.
something in your when in your bakery, it's
Doing this
really
little
silly
thing.
to me. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'd say maybe that.
Right on. Very good. All right, Nick, Jake, you want to take the next ones?
Yeah. So Antoids. All right. He actually has a very expansive question. It is easy to imagine a bakery management game involving caring for livestock such as chicken and cows. but the farming side of the game is instead pared down significantly. What was the decision to lean more into an Animal Crossing style gameplay and characters, and less of an emphasis on the farming and in-depth character arcs for the villagers?
So there's kind of two things. One, I like kept getting tripped up in my brain about like in a world where rabbits are kind of like self-aware and like have like are acting like people, like what does that mean about other animals in this world? And I was imagining like rabbits caring for other animals like felt weird. It felt like a little bit like slavery.
Right.
Yeah. And I was
Like seeing Goofy next to Pluto, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, so it felt like a little weird for that reason. And then secondly, I tried to make the game pretty much vegan. So like every ingredient is not from an animal. Like even the milk is from oats. It's oat milk. The eggs are Easter eggs you just find in the forest because that was funny to me and on theme. But yeah, like in this magical sort of like bunny verse that I've created, it felt weird to have other animals that you were caring for, so I just opted not to do that.
All right.
I know.
And were there any ideas regarding the farming elements that you eventually scrapped?
So there is like the most basic version of farming just because you kind of need to have access to these materials and the ability to get them. But I took out watering because watering's for farming sims. This isn't a farming sim, it's a baking sim. So I made like the most bare bones farming that was like accessible, easy, and like wouldn't be tiresome to the user. But yeah, it's really not more. There was nothing else to expand, I guess, other than just like very simple farming.
Right on.
If it's not fun, why bother?
Exactly.
Okay, and from Lulu Pa, was there any consideration between a more anthropomorphic rabbit as opposed to the realistic ones in the game, or were they always going to be these realistic rabbits from the very beginning?
So bunhouse rabbits are a little bit more realistic. If you look at the Cinnabunny rabbits, the anatomy is actually not 100% correct because the eyes are on the front of their heads, whereas rabbits are prey animals, so they have eyes on the sides of their heads. But when I made this like sort of cartoon version of these eyes, it looked so weird to have their eyes on the side of their heads and like doing different like emotions and stuff. So I had to kind of cartoonize it a little bit. But besides that, yeah, it was always planned to be rabbits, not as people. I just think that rabbits are cuter than people.
Right.
Like, yeah, like rabbit, like, so
It's
just like a personal,
ears.
like I just thought like anthropomorphized rabbits aren't as cute to me as regular rabbits. So
very good.
Perfect.
That actually gives me a question. How much in your rabbit games, like making your rabbit games, how much rabbit knowledge do you now?
Yeah, like how much research have you done?
Have you done on
I'm getting the sense, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I know more than anyone, like any Joe off the street would know about rabbits for sure. But if you like meet rabbit owners that have a lot of rabbits and are really passionate about it, like I'm way down because people love their pets and they love their rabbits and they learn way more than me, who's just doing it for a silly little video game. But yeah, I definitely know a good bit for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love to hear that. Okay, well, that kind of brings us to the plug section of our program today. Patrick, where can viewers and listeners find your game, and where can they find you?
Well, you can find Cinnabunny on Steam. You can find Bunhouse on any console and also Steam. Yeah, you can find me, Reky Studios. I'm on X. I hate saying X. Do you guys say X?
Everyone says Twitter.
Okay. I'm on Twitter and then Blue Sky as well. And then I have a TikTok I don't update nearly enough.
Don't we all?
But yeah, that's there you go. That's where you can find it. Steam.
All right.
Hopefully Nintendo someday in the future.
Soon. Yes. Very good. And yeah, as always, we're Video Ditch. We'll leave all our links below, and any of the pertinent games of interest, we'll leave those links in the description as well. But
go on his page, like all of his things. Go on his Threads account or whatever on Instagram, like all of those. Go on Steam, leave a review, make 200 dummy accounts, make 200 positive reviews. You get that.
Oh my gosh, that would make me so happy.
Yeah.
Everyone go leave a review.
Then after that, go to our TikTok and watch our interviews 4 or 5 times with the same dummy accounts. Just, boost those numbers up. Don't tell anyone you did it, though. We're going to deny it if you say that we told you to do it.
We don't care.
Yeah, we don't fluff.
Because this isn't recorded somewhere.
I'm going to say this was AI, so don't worry. But yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a wonderful, wonderful time,
Yes,
Patrick.
truly, Patrick. Yes, thank you.
It's been a
Yeah,
pleasure.
thank you guys for having me. I love
Absolutely.
talking about things. It was great catching up with y'all.
Oh yeah, having the
Sure.
truly independent developer is exactly what we want to platform and show off to the world.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
solo
the
dev
platform.
is
Yeah,
insane. It's magic to me,
Mhm.
frankly.
Yeah, me too. It's
the highest
hard
life
to
form.
fathom.
We're all
is, yeah.
protozoan in front of you.
It is a lot
Unevolved.
of stuff to do, that is for sure.
All right. Well, yes. Thank you for your time, Patrick. Thank you for listening. And as always, keep on gaming in the free world. Until next time.